And when you look at Jeremy at right back for Chelsea, not disrespect, but they look at that area and think Ronaldo or Giggs could be an area where we could exploit and get at them. And I think he's got to use the width. I think he's got to sacrifice the middle to use the width and make sure them full-backs overlap, make sure they switch the play, stretch Chelsea. Switching the play is so important. Stretch Chelsea as much as they can and get at these full-backs, get the ball in the box and just exploit.
As Bestie's favourite music continues to pump out around Old Trafford, and we actually do have the best on view here this afternoon. Manchester United who lead against Chelsea, the champions. Match commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. Hi again, everyone. As you've heard, Manchester United keep the team, which went down on Tuesday at Celtic, which does mean a first change in 5 Premiership matches. That's Gabby Ainsworth at left-back for Patrice Evra. Rio Ferdinand hasn't trained since the game in Glasgow, but he's been given the green light. Darren Fletcher, the score of United's winner here a year ago against Chelsea, is on the bench, but with Solskjaer still unfit, there are no substitute strikers. Chelsea's midweek injuries to Ballack and Drogba quickly cleared up. Ricardo Carvalho is back after missing the Bremen trip with an ankle problem. Frank Lampard reinstated following his European ban. And Andrei Shevchenko on the bench in Germany regains his place. Jeremy continues in Mourinho's problem position of right back. And on a day like this, Andy, it is worth pointing out again the absence of first-choice goalkeeper Petr Cech.
Absolutely, because as any one of the 22 outfield players or the 22 players on show are capable of winning this game, including the goalkeepers. We wonder about Manchester United in big games. Sometimes Sir Alex has changed it, but let's assume that they're going to go with this system and with Wayne Rooney playing from this area, which is undoubtedly his best. If they do that, the lads have talked about it, these areas vital for Manchester United, and even fullbacks Neville and Ainsa. And I think Ainsa's in because of his power and his height. I think they're a little bit worried about Evra against a powerful side like Chelsea, so Ainsa gets the nod. I think they'll look at it, and if they need to change it, don't be surprised if Sir Alex, sometimes if they're not enjoying good possession, does that. It's something they do in Europe an awful lot away from home, not so much at home. But maybe if they're not getting the possession they should enjoy in midfield, they could certainly change it and do that. But I hope not, because I think there's something in a game where you see 2 teams playing different systems. So that's for Manchester United. For Chelsea, well, Jose Mourinho's been quite adamant. It's the same players, it's the same formation, it's the same system. We will change nothing. So there we go, it will be there, as it always is. Steve McLaren talked about Jeremy, vital. I've watched Bremen expose him in these areas quite a lot, even up Ashley Cole's side. And Wednesday night would change of play very well and very quickly. Look for Manchester United doing that. But it's these 3, if they're in form, Essien, Ballack and Lampard. And if United keep the 2 in centre midfield, the key will be, can these 3 dominate it for Chelsea?
This is Old Trafford.
Well, the Chelsea Premiership rocks of the last 2 campaigns have come to a hard place. The top 2 by a significant distance, and it could just be that the 2 head-to-heads between Manchester United and Chelsea will decide the destiny of this year's title. This one definitely determines tonight's margins at the top. The biggest ground in English League football, the perfect stage for the big match. The current leaders take on the defending champions. 3 points the difference, 3 points at stake. Manchester United against Chelsea, and it's live.
Well, this is it. More than half a chance of another Premier League record attendance this afternoon. Manchester United top, 3 points clear of the champions Chelsea, who sit second right now. It's a match also available in high definition, channel 408 if you're a Sky HD viewer. We are interactive, that's a service for Sky Digital viewers. Push the red button on the remote control and follow the instructions. Incidentally, 2 quick goals for Tottenham at White Hart Lane mean they lead 2-1. Defoe and Berbatov the scorers. Match commentators here, Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Challenger against champion. North against South. In ownership terms, USA against Russia. It's a prime contest to be fought in football's primary colours. Red against blue. The boys from the bridge ready to end all the anticipation and start the match. much talked about, eagerly awaited for many reasons. Ricardo Carvalho locking horns again with Wayne Rooney. That's one of the subtexts. Stretching header for Nemanja Vidic, who's slotted in so well alongside Ferdinand, whose fitness will be just scrutinised in the early minutes. First chance for a run from Cristiano Ronaldo. Backed up by Scholes. Carrick keeping it short, but wanting to get Ronaldo involved. And Howard Webb, the biggest assignment in his refereeing career, an up-and-coming referee and still a serving police officer.
Just a little arm into the face there as he turned on that. Don't think there's a doubt it's a free kick, but that's about all. He turns on this, and as Ballack goes to win it, just eases him out the play.
Well, one aspect to the preparation for Chelsea: beware the fast starts of Manchester United. That message has been hammered home really since they blitzed Bolton at the Reebok a few weeks ago now. It hasn't always been a fast start in Champions League games, but certainly in the rudimentary week in, week out Premiership challenge, they go for it. And Rooney still looking for his first headed goal for Manchester United.
It takes a bit of doing from 18 yards. Oh, just a little shallow here, but would have been some header to beat Cudicini from there.
He's also looking for his first career goal against Chelsea. And he's one short of 50 in his overall Premiership career. It's a big time in Carlo Cudicini's career, having been the main goalkeeper for several years and then spending a couple of seasons in Petr Cech's shadows. It's also a challenge for Jeremy, the latest of Chelsea's right-backs. Carrick goes out off Essien.
It just seems early on, maybe that Manchester United, to combat the lack of numbers in the centre midfield, are going to let Chelsea have the ball when they're in their own half, and Terry and Carvalho have got it. But watch for United doing this time and again. Switch and play. Stretching the midfield of Chelsea, making them work across the pitch whenever they can.
And Gary Neville trying to release Saha, whose confidence, I'm sure, has been rebuilt after the penalty failure on Tuesday, at the very same moment, incidentally, that Van Nistelrooy, his predecessor as Manchester United's penalty taker, was missing in the Champions League, or failing in the Champions League for Real Madrid. Spooky. Drogba, not for long. Rooney, taking the drop on Makelele. Teles, Carvalho stepping in, and Rooney looking for the ball rather than his Portuguese opponent. Howard Webb has pointed Manchester United's way, or Chelsea's way, has he? Vidic has stayed down. Ballack was the Chelsea player involved. And
well, that's obviously given a free kick to Chelsea. Vidic not happy with the challenge of Ballack. And already within the opening 5 minutes, a couple of situations for the referee to defuse involving Michael Ballack.
it was a bad touch by Ballack.
I'm not so sure what Vidic did wrong, apart from exaggerate the amount of contact.
So it's a nervous touch by the German captain. And it's Lampard who takes the free kick.
Well, sort that one out, referee. That's unbelievable. Ballack's never got anyone chance of getting a header. Vidic and Ainsa all over him. Ainsa starts with John Terry, but decides to follow the flight of the ball. But look at that. How on earth do you get a header in there?
Well, that's the cameo of the competitive nature between Manchester United and Chelsea. Of course, it's 3 crucial points today, but you do feel the clubs are engaged in even wider battles for football power in this country and maybe around the globe. Such has been the talking up of Chelsea's status by their chief executive and former Manchester United chief executive, Peter Kenyon. United trying to squeeze in and stop Chelsea getting out. And they've done just that. It's rather an unusually stray one from Michael Carrick that John Terry deals with.
It'll be a big game for Michael Carrick. You know, there's a lot been made of that huge transfer fee on that young man's shoulders, and bought, I guess, to influence this kind of game, to produce match-winning performances, passes, openings for his teammates. In a game like this, it'll be tight and tense, you feel.
The space here for Makelele. Lampard. Makelele again. Drogba. Shevchenko.
Now you see from Ryan Giggs' position, it looks as well Manchester United just going to tuck Giggs in when they lose possession, and alongside Essien. And if there's an out ball, I guess they've decided that Jeremy's going to be the one and not Cole. Makes sense.
Yeah, but it would also be maybe only a case of Manchester United realising that they've got to be narrow against Chelsea's narrow. With the way Essien plays on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I think like now when Giggs gets around Essien like that, but I do think that when Manchester United get the ball, you'll see Giggs get as wide as he can on the left-hand side.
And make Essien do the thinking, headed on by the informed Drogba. Here is Giggs. Lindsay, only his third Premiership start of the season. Easing his way back to match fitness after a difficult year. Out by Makelele, so astute in his positioning as usual. And Van der Sar mopping up, but not doing it quite as convincingly as he would have liked. Could have easily gone for a corner, it's just a throw.
Well, he's not happy, Shevchenko, with this challenge. He's got the sock down, he's shown the referee. He pointed the finger at Van der Sar, as if to indicate not quite a done thing. He's limping away from that. A bit frantic early on.
Finally the throw taken by Jeremy. Makelele demanding possession and getting it. This is Ballack can go back out again to Jeremy. Crosses on for Chelsea.
That's too high.
They've all gone near post anyway.
I think the ball was on just to cross it without controlling it.
Ense.
I'll just watch Wayne Rooney for a second, Martin, because I just wonder if they've changed it. Notice Rooney's position now, way on the left-hand side of midfield. See him right at the top of your screen. You'll notice if that's just happened or whether it's a definite change.
Saha fronted up through the middle, looking a bit more isolated, but there's plenty of support for the Frenchman now. There's also Ricardo Carvalho sliding in. The four teams which have beaten Manchester United this season, three of them earlier this month, have all stopped them scoring. Here's Giggs. Still Giggs. Terrific header by Terry against Saha.
That's defending at its best. And that's the first time Giggs, with the ball at his feet, has gone at Jeremy. Twice before he tried to play the early cross.
Hardware had blown his whistle. I don't know whether Rooney had heard it.
I don't know if he blew it or blew it after Rooney went in for the tackle. Certainly not sure whether it's blown now. Can't see any reason why it should, but I don't see an awful lot that Rooney did wrong except go and win the ball. But taking him on, this is what they've been part of it. Go at Jeremy, test his defensive capabilities. No doubt in the Chelsea skippers though. Super defensive header.
Visiting the captain today, but of course home captain in international football at Old Trafford. Ronaldo and Scholes. A veteran of these clashes with Chelsea. Ronaldo. No complaints from Saha.
Well, the only thing wrong with that move was the ball into Zaha. If he plays it the other side, then Carvalho can't get it. He might have got the 1-2 back.
Some very high-quality play by Ashley Cole, including the switch of play. Easily cut out by Vidic, who was part of the Manchester United defence that was punctured 3 times at Stamford Bridge. Painful defeat. Chelsea clinching the title against United back in April, the day that Rooney fractured his metatarsal as well. Here he is, healthy and in form.
Just even the great players get a little excited with the occasion, and I thought he just wanted to get that at his feet a little bit too quickly, going at Carvalho.
We tend to forget he's only 21, and I was looking at that new contract to 2012. When he finishes it, he'll still only be 26. He'll be allowed to finish it. Of course, they'll extend it again, won't they?
Room for another deal then. Well, that's a foul thrower.
Got away with it. Ronaldo. Gary Neville going outside him. Ronaldo going on. There's a bad header that put Cudicini in trouble, and the goalkeeper looked slightly less than commanding then. Maybe he didn't expect it, but he certainly didn't deal with it. And Ashley Cole has had mixed experiences here with Arsenal.
Well, both captains right over to the referee, adding more pressure to Howard Webb. He's wanting a free kick, John Terry, for the challenge on Cudicini. That's his gripe, no doubt about that. But that's late from Ashley Cole. You cannot get away with that. No attempt to play the ball.
No card. Howard Webb, who's making his reputation by treating the players as men and respecting the physical side of the game. There's a very fine dividing line in a match of this magnitude. Giggs. Gary Neville, who has this calf problem, but I must say this season has played with more attacking verve than in many previous.
Well, they've tried the quick start, Manchester United, isn't a doubt about that. They've been on the front foot, they've started quickly. It wouldn't have been a surprise to Chelsea, mind you. They'd have been prepared for it and have been ready for it.
Lampard, fresh from a break in midweek. Ashley Cole. Drogba trying to get in between the 2 central defenders.
Great ball. Maybe just ahead. It's in a brilliant area. You know, you don't need to get to the byline. If you could put a ball in like that. Problem was Shevchenko's wide on the left here. Only Drogba, the only real target. Well, quick start is what they wanted. Certainly with action areas and pressure, they've got that.
Makelele. But it's doing well against Drogba, who can be a raging bull of a striker.
We often come to these games, don't we, and we get excited by the array of talent that's in front of you. And why shouldn't we? But what you have to pay respect to and admire as well is we're talking about 2 defensive units. One's conceded 6, the other 7. They're not easy to break down.
And Vidic looks made for the Premiership. Here's Ferdinand. Ashley Cole. Ballack, who's played here before with Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League. And Lampard launching it a bit too long for Shevchenko. Was the furthest forward that time.
And if they wanted to keep it going, Frank Lampard, Jeremy was the out ball again. That'll be a foul. I'm sorry, Roberto, you didn't get the ball. Simple as that. Sometimes you can't win it. And if it accepts, you're not going to. So, whatever he headed, it certainly wasn't the ball.
Ricardo.
You get everything wrong now.
I'm sorry,
Sorry.
only for the record. I did wait.
Good lad.
Ronaldo. Carrick, Scholes. It's just dropping to where he can survey the scene. Rooney, this goalkeeper's ball. Just wonder whether Manchester United think that they might get at Cudicini with some crosses.
Well, they might. They have to bypass John Terry.
And Ashley Cole, so he can rise to the headers as well. Zaha. Almost pointing downwards, but it's still handballed by Ballack. And Ryan Giggs might fancy the angles here.
He just plays it. He's a little unlucky, he didn't do an awful lot. But it's certainly within range. First real moment of anxiety for either defence. Look at Ronaldo cleaning that ball, getting it ready, so precise with the way he sets it up. He does get the most unbelievable movement on a ball when he puts his foot through it. So that may give him priority here. As Giggs
The ball nearly broke then because Gary Neville was spotted sneaking up. Giggs has walked away. So can it be Cristiano Ronaldo's party piece? In the 18th minute.
Is there room round that wall? He'll certainly be looking at that. Around the outside, I mean. Surely not. Surely he'll have set that. Yeah, doesn't look it from that angle. So maybe just power.
It is. It needed to be turned away by Cudicini.
Well, when he hits them like this and you're a goalkeeper, you're really pleased when it's right above your head.
And he really does work on that particular way of striking the ball. It allows the aerodynamics to do the rest. Best striking anger so far, and it's come from Manchester United and Cristiano Ronaldo. And now Rooney. It's blocked by Jeremy. Essien trying to run away, but Carrick was cute. Rooney. Now Lampard. And Shevchenko let it run, thinking there was a space to do that in. But we reckon they're out to Gary Neville.
And it's gone nowhere.
It just shows, Andy, you're absolutely right what you say about licking your lips before a game like this. So much talent. But the talent is having to play under real pressure from the collective attitudes and the recognition of what is at stake here. Because even by top two meetings in the first half of the season standards, this is immense, because it doesn't look as though there's going to be another meaningful challenge.
No.
Arsenal being beaten in the Northwest again yesterday. Let's hope that that's proved wrong.
Yeah, that would be nice. But in the meantime, we'll enjoy these two.
Shevchenko. And again. Drogba. It's a real muscular meeting. The Premiership opponents there, Vidic and Didier Drogba. Drogba's not scored against Manchester United. He has scored here in the FA Cup semi-final against Liverpool. And he scored pretty much against everybody else.
Well blocked.
Good stopping of the supply by Ainse. Zaha, so he's given it away in the end. And
booking now. He's just tucked the ball away, Makelele, to stop United taking a quick free kick.
Technical offence.
And the left arm comes out, just controls it there. And they just want to take a quick free kick, they come rushing to the ball, and he just pokes the ball away.
Third of the domestic campaign for Claude Makelele. Ballack's on 4, incidentally, and should he get booked in this match, would miss the home game at Arsenal.
Nearly Carrick, the raking ball, looking for Rooney. He's just stolen about 10 yards, Jeremy, he'll try and get another couple.
Ferdinand. Well, Chelsea concerned about the opening 20 minutes, they've got through it. Difficult save for Cudicini from Ronaldo's free kick, and an awkward ball, weak defensive header. He might have been fouled in going for Ronaldo.
Oh, he had a lovely little ball to Ryan Giggs that he didn't spot. Ronaldo just square of him.
Lampard. Evidence of a less than relaxed approach, and you can understand why. Jose Mourinho came here a year ago, 13 points clear of Manchester United and 40 league games unbeaten. They could afford losing to Darren Fletcher's looping header, but they perhaps can't afford to today. On the wrong end of the result. That is the only time that Sir Alex Ferguson has had a win against Jose Mourinho. In 8 meetings, including, of course, the 2 Porto-Manchester United matches. And away Porto to winning the Champions League. Now Rooney. Can't take it through Terry. By Makelele, and it's powering in. And that sort of challenge maybe got him the nod over Evra. Cole. Gary Neville has put his central players in a spot of bother and whacks it away to more safety. Ronaldo. So good tackle. Fellow countryman. Ricardo Carvalho. It's already looking like a match of very fine margins. No great surprise. Just past its quarter mark. Giggs. Only back through the middle.
It's just so frantic, isn't it? I mean, everybody's having to play so quickly. Not getting much time. Only people who are getting any sort of time are people like Jeremy, the back fours, and they get a little bit of time, but as soon as it goes forward into midfield or it goes up to a front man, immediate pressure on. That's what I'm saying about United. Quite happy to let them roll it about here. They're just funneled back. So then just trying to nullify the space that the tight midfield quartet of Chelsea's can get into.
Well, slow. Certainly the capacity to quicken it up. It might be the change of pace that does the trick. Drogba was just away from Shevchenko's initial stride. Back for Ballack. And that's where Drogba just come out from.
Yeah, just played it without looking really, didn't he? 25 minutes in, Chelsea will be fairly happy. I know they haven't showed a lot as an attacking force, but it was vitally important. We've talked about it. First goal, not conceding an early goal to Manchester United.
Manchester United, of course, have been beaten here once, 1-0. Probably didn't reflect the margin on the day of Arsenal over Alex Ferguson's team. Ferdinand got the header down for Shevchenko, and I wouldn't have counted for Lampard. Flag went up.
Yeah, he was just struggling for height and distance there, Rio Ferdinand, with his header.
Ronaldo.
Yeah, that free kick's given against Ballack. It's not against anything Ashley Cole did. Just earlier in the run, Ballack just tried to ease him out, and that's 3 in a row. The German, he'll have to be careful. Just as he goes here, his first movement here, you watch Ballack comes in, just tries to ease him out there. That's the foul. But he allowed Ronaldo to try and get the better of Ashley Cole, and when that didn't happen, Pickle brought it back.
Good spot by Howard Webb, and by my illustrious colleague.
At least it wasn't Ricardo that committed the foul, was it?
Ashley Cole's header. Nice chance to bounce by Shevchenko, and he and Drogba look at each other. In goes Scholes. Lampard felt it. Paul Scholes, somewhat the master of the mistime tackle. If you understand, if you've watched him a lot, you understand what I mean.
But that's a little example. It drops to Frank Lampard here. He no sooner gets 1 foot on it in the attempt to control it than pressure's exerted.
And Chelsea able to build so far from the back. Ricardo Carvalho can be very cavalier. They want to go any further forward then, at risk of being caught short. Beautiful control from Giggs. And Ashley Cole dummies Cristiano Ronaldo very smartly. And there's Ronaldo behind him, the Chelsea left-back. Lampard, in anticipation by Carrick. Giggs. Rooney's touch, and pass, and Zaha. Tries to place it, he has done, to perfection. And in the summit meeting, Manchester United lead Chelsea 1-0. And the man who's had agony since Tuesday is having jubilation to deal with now.
Well, you'd never guess this guy was this despondent. But they're so quick here. The way they snuff out the attack down in this touchline and then spring this. The Rooney spots a brilliant pass here. I'm thinking go wide to inside, he's wide open. But he just uses Carvalho's body. He almost uses it as a shield. He has a little look, and he knows Cudicini can't see this. And he just winds it round the Portuguese centre-back. And his accuracy is absolutely spot on. Absolutely stunning finish from Louis Zaha.
Well, from much further out than the penalty spot, Zaha spot on for Manchester United. The cautious approach won't do for Chelsea now. Shevchenko. Just before the half-hour mark. They've hit a mark to hurt him.
Well, it happened on Wednesday at Bremen. Lost the first goal, couldn't peg it back. It's happened again in a massive league game for them. There's enough about Chelsea not to get worried. They haven't won the championship 2 years in a row by panicking because they go one down.
What's Zaha been saying about Tuesday? 1,000 sorries wouldn't make up for it. He's found a way to make up for it.
I think that's covered all 1,000. One swish of his left foot.
I don't know whether that might, the conversation might herald a change of philosophy for Chelsea. Andy, a few people have said to me, why did Zaha take the penalty? The fact is he was the penalty taker for this season and he hadn't missed.
I mean, here Carvalho thinks he's done all right. Carvalho's shown him the narrow side and thinking you ain't going to score there. Look at John Terry's face. You know, Wayne Rooney says he loves scoring goals, but he got as much enjoyment out of Zaha's there.
And the togetherness of Manchester United, they'll be thrilled for that particular scorer. They'll take the goal from anybody, as Edwin van der Sar illustrates. But he's a very popular player in the dressing room. They need him back on now and he gets the signal. And that is the lows and highs and the extremities of top-class football. But the job's not done here.
Oh, far from it. But there was one stat I looked at, Martin, before the game about Manchester United. They've only lost one game out of the last 146 domestic games when they've taken the lead.
Yes, but it was against Chelsea.
I know.
Season before last.
That's a staggering statistic.
It is. I'm very impressed with your stats.
I'll leave that to you, mate.
No. Share and share alike. Here comes Jeremy.
Yeah, ball one.
Ronaldo. Rooney. And Zaha again. Howard Webb says play on. He skipped past Terry, but widened the angle. And there was no one in a red shirt actually in the penalty area but Louis Zaha. It's up to the referees to when to stop the play. He's had a look at Didier Drogba. Now the ball has gone out.
Well, I have to say, I do like this new rule that we've decided that it's up to the referee. He comes through and wins the ball. And Drogba goes to ground in agony, looking for the free kick. It's whether he goes through Drogba to win it. That's debatable. But he had a look at him, he felt he was all right, the referee.
But this is where Drogba's reputation goes against him. I think if it had been other players in a tackle like that, you might just say, well, he did come through him a little bit, but because we're never quite sure how seriously Drogba is hurt, there's a definite lack of sympathy. He might be hurt.
Absolutely. But I know what you're saying.
Chelsea a goal down, and at the moment a man down, and the ball's gone out of play. Well,
Thanks for saying it had.
Yep. Now there are midweek games in the Barclays Premiership. Watford against Sheffield United, you can see live Sky Sports 2 HD2 Tuesday at 7:30. And Chelsea are staying up here in the northwest. They play Bolton on Wednesday, and you can see that with us from 7.
Well, that was a challenge again, an aerial challenge. Drogba and Nemanja Vidic, and it's Manchester United's turn to be upset. Whether this was a bit of retribution from Drogba, feeling hard done by, how much contact there was. But this is why you need a cool head from a referee in a game like this. Howard Webb obviously saw it, Martin, because he let play go on. And it was only when the ball didn't break to Manchester United that he gave the free kick. You talk about these challenges, they do happen time and time again, and often it is the case that one of the other players gets up early, and because you're using your arms, they do come in contact with the other player. Now, is that what happens? Drogba has a little look. Well, make your own mind about that one. There's a little look. That's up he goes, and a little push in the face there.
Well, he took the yellow card, didn't he? And Howard Webb went to great pains to explain into Drogba's ear his thought process. But that could easily have been seen as more sinister.
Oh, absolutely.
Nearly for Ryan Giggs. I think Giggs and Scholes coming up to 1,200 appearances between them for Manchester United. Over 260 goals between them. And that's a commitment to the cause.
Oh, yeah.
Essien. The Chelsea player to take part in every minute of their season so far.
This can come wide. Ballack wants it.
Drogba.
Just dwelt too long in it, Ballack.
Terry. Shevchenko. The touch was useful. It took the ball to Jeremy, who has a go, and Van der Sar only parries it back into play.
When he hits him and gets hold of him, Jeremy, he's as good as anyone. Certainly has the power. There's no finesse about this, he just drills through the ball. And look at it moving away from Van der Sar. It's good goalkeeping in the end because he got it out of the danger area, away from his goal. But it had him worried.
Great camera work as well. So exactly the problem for Edwin van der Sar.
Just cut that. Well, you get the impression that Chelsea have cleared their heads now. They're just starting to exert a little bit of pressure for the first time in the match.
Lampard. Well, he can't slide it through beyond Neville. Scholes.
And that's just coming back at.
Alex Ferguson emphasising what a great opportunity this is for Manchester United to open up this 6-point gap. Giggs to really emphasise how well they've been playing in the Premiership. A much better start to their season in the league in the last couple of campaigns.
It is a proper game though, isn't it? Matching areas changing slightly, a couple of percent now. They're asking more of Manchester United defensively, but not a lot.
Ronaldo.
A little bit early for showboating, I would suggest.
Terry just covering around behind Ashley Cole. Drogba. Oh, Shevchenko into Vidic.
Well, we can't plead his innocence. I'm sorry. Deals with it well. You don't have to pull the yellow card out all the time, but he certainly has a look and then just turns away from him, jumping into him.
Won the Champions League on this ground, around in 2003 with a penalty shootout conversion. He hasn't played a competitive game against Manchester United before, Shevchenko. Ashley Cole. Easy for Scholes to intervene. Makelele. Chelsea trying to rev it up with 5 minutes to go. Manchester United determined to achieve a first target, which would be to get to half-time with this lead exquisitely earned by Louis Saha still intact.
Is that 40 minutes gone?
Well, Roman Abramovich has made these contests now what they are, because Chelsea had a great record here, incidentally, for many years against the odds. Old Trafford was almost a second home for them. It wasn't a title-winning or challenging Chelsea teams then. But with the financial clout, they are now going for their hat-trick, of course. And Manchester United very firmly standing in their way. Jeremy. Led down by Saha to Scholes. Enzo really put it into the mix then. It was a loose ball that 4 players converged on, and no one really got to. And here's Ronaldo. Chelsea backpedal. And Ronaldo this time gets it wrong. He moves at such pace, it's always likely to happen.
Well, it was one of those balls.
In the centre circle.
I'm not so sure why this ball was played in there. Well, the players arriving from all points of that circle. It was no surprise there was going to be a collision. I think we're going to get a few of these today, and the referee has to decide what to do. Up till now, I think he's done okay. He'll upset a few on both sides.
He's got to be careful now, having been booked. Perhaps throw his full weight around with usual vigour. Saha.
Well, I just wonder, a little sign there, Mark. I just looked below me, and Arjen Robben has been sent out to warm up 3 minutes before half-time. Now, I just wonder if the Chelsea manager's thinking even this early, if this doesn't change in the next couple of minutes, would he make a change as early as half-time?
And if he does, which change? Robben has been used as a second striker. There's some speculation that he might shade Shevchenko for the place alongside Drogba today.
Well, if I'm honest, Shevchenko's played this game on the periphery, but much like Drogba, they've not had an awful lot to work on.
Beautifully done by Rooney for Giggs. Ryan Giggs striding on for Manchester United. And Ricardo Carvalho was left spectacularly in Giggs' wake.
Sometimes it amazes you about decision-making. I mean, he must know he's not getting this. And if he just stays where he is, then he gives a problem. He's got to make a decision, but he just goes to ground so easily, so early. And just about get away with it, Chelsea. And I do think the first half's been good, and it's cracked along at a pace. It's not been full of goal-scoring incidents, but it's certainly a game in every sense of the word. The best is yet to come.
Yes, it's been on the money. Big money at this level. Essien, one of Chelsea's individual successes this season. He's seen a lot of the ball. Jeremy. Drogba. It's set up for Lampard. Took a bit of controlling the shot. Did well to get it to trouble Van der Sar.
Yeah, might have been sneaking wide, might have been going in, but goalkeeper's got to deal with it. Was going wide. First real glimpse of Frank Lampard in and around the edge of the area.
To go, but with all the strength and all the mental toughness to stick with the ball.
Well, a confrontation there that fueled the summer's debate, isn't it?
Here we've got a confrontation that can fuel a winter's debate between Manchester United and Chelsea. Giggs. This one extra minute on top of the one we've just about had before half-time. Played for it, got it. This is a short free kick. Designed to try and free somebody. And here's Jeremy again. The back heel for Lampard. Ballack's in the middle. Drogba's in there, of course. This one hasn't been good enough, really, from the right-hand side.
That one, not enough angle on it. A little bit straight.
Half-time on Tuesday night, they said his confidence was shot to pieces. He's produced a shot here. That is the difference between the top two after 45 minutes of fiercely contested football. And Jose Mourinho goes in at half-time with Chelsea trailing Manchester United by that goal to nil.
I think he can play all over the park, right side, left side, in behind. When you've got that pace and talent and technique, you can play anywhere.
Yeah. I think we might see a change, actually, Richard. It looks like, as we said, Robben's going to come on, but I expect it to be Essien might go right back and Jeremy might come off. That looks like what he might do, and just inject some pace into this game.
OK, let's get that confirmed, or indeed checked one way or the other. Match commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. Well, Jeremy is the one player from the first half who hasn't re-emerged. And Arjen Robben, left-sided, comes on for the Chelsea right back. We'll see what sort of rejigging that means, and he'll be checking that out as well. And Manchester United have become the first team in the Premiership this season to open the scoring in a league game against Chelsea.
Well, it looks like Essien might be the one looking down in front of me here, taking up the right back position.
Manchester United to start the second half, well aware that Chelsea have scored in all their previous league games this season. They need a goal here at Old Trafford, trailing to Louis Saha.
Well, I just think if Robben plays there and he stays out there wide side, and you look at Cole and Robben with the pace and the threat on that side, and Ronaldo, who's not the best defensive player, I think Sir Alex might have a look at it, and it wouldn't surprise me if she shifts Giggs. I know it's a little unusual, but Ryan Giggs has been brilliant defensively for his side as much as anything, really responsible. It wouldn't surprise me if we get a bit of joy, Chelsea, early on, that Giggs and Ronaldo change sides and they send Giggs out to help Gary Neville in front of him.
Webb has applied a liberal helping of common sense to his refereeing so far.
I mean, it's a foul. I think that's about it.
There was a bit of a hoo-ha over Scholes releasing the ball, or not, as the case was.
But it's so typical of what Scholes has done to Frank Lampard. They tried to, as soon as Frank's had the ball, Paul Scholes has been right in his face.
Ballack. Essien now at right back. Drogba. Points to ponder for Manchester United tactically, but they've got their own strategy to continue. Ballack. It's been a precious little thrust so far from Chelsea's midfield, but now Robben has come to the party. Ashley Cole. Finding the ball deflected and not getting any sympathy for that point of view.
We talked about Giggs, who was in the vicinity just as he was crossing it, way over that right-hand side. Ryan Giggs. So I think it's certainly something that might just give Sir Alex Ferguson a little question mark what he does. But then again, if his team continue to be in the ascendancy, he'll think there's no need to change.
Lampard. Drogba getting himself involved. Almost muddying the waters, really, but Lampard can't pick up the impetus that attack seemed to start with. There's some impetus here for Cristiano Ronaldo. Oh, that was a great sprint. Ashley Cole is very quick and was at full tilt to keep up the man with the ball.
Well, yet again, Frank Lampard caught in possession by Paul Scholes. That releases Manchester United on the attack. But this is top-class defender from Ashley Cole. Doesn't go to ground until he's absolutely sure he's going to block the cross. That's one way to nullify his threat going the other way, isn't it?
It's Costa corner. Terry steers it away. Another play from Carrick. Power from Rooney. Past Drogba. Zaha. Oh, Ronaldo couldn't get there. It's still in play with Giggs. Blocked away by Cole. Extravagant from Ronaldo. Great tackle by Carrick. There's another tremendous thrust from Manchester United. And Chelsea were straining and stretching, and even maybe a spot of shirt pulling to hold the home team at bay. Ballack. Oh, he spotted the pass and very nearly executed it. Shevchenko trying to dart in behind, but the troubles for Chelsea just a few seconds before that.
Well, Drogba gets caught. This is a brilliant ball from Michael Carrick, and Drogba gets caught. I just wonder, has he got a chunk he has? He gets away with that. I mean, Wayne Rooney's honesty has probably cost his team a penalty. No doubt in my mind about that. He's got a chunk of his shot. I know a lot of players, maybe the one in the picture, who just went to ground at that, but he kept going.
Here is Drogba. Ballack. Essien, one of the awesome foursome in midfield, now deployed elsewhere. They were hardly awesome in the first half, though.
Well, the game's set up beautifully. I mean, beautifully. Chelsea know they have to force the pace. Manchester United, with Rooney, with Zaha, with Ronaldo and Giggs, have four players who really can't expose anyone who gets overstretched looking for a goal.
Chelsea are chasing Manchester United in the league and in the match. Zaha making it awkward for Terry. Essien. Quite happy for Chelsea to have it here. They're not going to hurt them from here. And Lampard goes deep to get involved. Scholes goes with him. Drogba calling for it to feed. And Lampard got away from Paul Scholes but couldn't put the pass away for the on-running Arjen Robben. Makelele. Robben, speculative, and good stern defending again by Nemanja Vidic. Makelele. Alex ball. Once more, Vidic played his part. Rooney 3 up for Manchester United.
A little careless. This is a good start to the second, back from that chance that Rooney created. This is a pretty good start from Chelsea, right on the front foot.
Lampard has dropped
miles off. They look to be miles off. Frank Lampard makes a very, very good run here. It's just puts the brakes on in time. I think he might think he could have taken the shot on maybe.
He usually does. Makelele. Shevchenko. Seeing the fringes of the first half. Robin. Lindsay's header. Essien kicks on the defensive beat again. The shot in keeping with Shevchenko's afternoon so far.
Yeah, I think that's fair. This year, one of the reasons Yates is picked before Evra to do that, to win that kind of ball. But when it drops there, not really in control of that. And Chelsea fans will be looking. They'll be looking at Shevchenko. And they'll be looking at Ballack. Big introductions at the beginning of the season, saying, you know, you were bought for these kind of games, guys.
But bought by whom?
I'll let you answer that.
I don't know the answer, but I think it's a question. Ballack. Shevchenko. And so scrabbling it away from them. It's a bit of a belated fall by Essien. He's got his free kick though, and Chelsea in a hurry to get the ball moving again. They're probably feeling this is as reasonable a spell in the match as they've had.
I'll tell you, United get lucky there. I was talking about Ronaldo switched off, Cole had run in behind him. If they could have just got him in there, when Chelsea were in business, might be a booking for Michael Carrick that.
Booking it is.
Yeah, I can hear any argument about that.
He does prefer the interceptions and doesn't usually get himself into trouble with referees. Never been red carded in his career.
Well, you expect champions to respond, and respond they have at the beginning of this half.
Just querying the contact. Gabiense. Well, the captain will be cajoling and encouraging, and he always believes that in adversity Chelsea come through strongly.
Well, you see the possession they've had, Chelsea at the beginning of this half.
Drogba. Terry again. And Sarr prefers them on his right foot, the back passes, but that's a very good strike. Put his head down and really kicked through the ball. Essien.
Manchester United just can't keep the ball now. Chelsea are at it. Just up to tempo. Essien busting from right back. Again, it's a foul. Lucky at the moment. I don't think the ref's going to give him a yellow card, but he's lucky not to get one. But Manchester United have to do a couple of things. Either change it, another one in midfield, drop off a little for 5-10 minutes to see what's happening, or get the ball and keep it a bit better than they're doing.
Chelsea have been very strong at set plays this season. Robin free kick, up in the air from Ainse. Who wants this one? There's Vidic. With Robin again. Carrick. And Carrick once more. Coming together Carvalho and Gary Neville. Free kick to Manchester United.
I don't think there's a lot of contact. He just hangs his leg up here, Carvalho. And when he doesn't get it, as soon as he feels the contact, what I'm saying, he wins himself a free kick. The Manchester United skipper. And he just relieves the pressure a little, because pressure's what they've been under.
Drogba complaining about time wasting from Van der Sar. In theory, Manchester United have had the easier week, or the easier preparation. They've had 1 day longer rest from their Champions League match, a shorter journey. Glasgow as opposed to Bremen in Germany. Mense. It's Ronaldo. It's Zaha. And it looked as though it was going to be 2-0.
Well, I'm not so sure what John Terry did, whether he fell, whether he threw his body. But I think it put Zaha off. What a ball though from Mense.
Cut out by Ballack. Robin. After a weak first half performance by their standards, Chelsea starting to flex their muscles, but knowing that a second goal could settle their hash here. Essien. Shevchenko on the ground, complaining he'd been put there unfairly, off the ball.
Well, he's dealing with Gary Neville on that back post, and he hasn't spent that many years playing right back for Manchester United not to know how to deal with that. It's not a penalty. He's just a defender who takes his position and stands his ground. Happens. It's called good defending.
Manchester United may well need a bit more of that. And it's a lash-at goal from Lampard, who needs one to become Chelsea's highest ever midfield scorer.
I'm just wondering how close Shevchenko was to this. Well, Drogba was, but Shevchenko hadn't gone, and at the other end, super play from Mense here, skips away from Robin. Wonderful cross. Look at John Terry, he just goes down. I think he loses his footing, but it seems to put Zaha off. As Terry goes for the block, and you think Zaha's going to score, but he takes his eye off it totally.
But when the cross came in, you thought with Ronaldo's ability to kill the ball, the chance would be his.
That was a bad touch by his standards. But hold on to your hats, because Chelsea are really, really making a fist of this.
Essien. Ballack. Towards Drogba.
Well, they backed off an awfully long way. Manchester United are right on the edge of the 6-yard box trying to deal with this. Look at them back away and back away. And Drogba drops that off his chest to Shevchenko. We might have an equaliser there.
Drogba, Chelsea striker, Manchester United ball boy.
I'm looking at Sir Alex down in the touchline with Carlos Queiroz, looking at a couple of things, trying to change things maybe, talking about what they can do to stem this, because it is a bit of a tide that's coming towards the goal.
Essien. Chelsea on the charge again. Ballack. Crossover run by Shevchenko. A wayward touch from Robin. And the worry for Chelsea is that with Rooney, Zaha and Ronaldo on the break, Manchester United can be so devilish, so dangerous. And Scholes and Giggs are up there as well. Here's Rooney. Lampard, a bit of space as Manchester United pushed a lot of players on. Haven't done that too often.
Well, I have to say, the pace that these guys have played this game at today has been nothing short of admirable. It's unbelievable.
What a ball from Enzo to Ronaldo, who tries his pace against Cole, who meets the challenge. Lampard.
And getting a little stretch for the first time this game. And it's Chelsea who are using the ball better at the moment.
Essien. And Robin Rising to the difficulty was Gary Neville. Lampard. Essien. Trying to play it to Ballack, but got it wrong. And Rooney and Carvalho face each other again, but the ball's passed to Ronaldo. Giggs. And Cudicini making sure he wasn't beaten on the short side.
I told you the best of this game was to come a couple of minutes before half-time, and I wasn't wrong.
And Chelsea have had to open it up, and they're showing signs of doing it to the detriment of Manchester United. Shevchenko, Drogba, and very quickly and needily for United was Rio Ferdinand. And
good take.
Dipped on Van der Sar from Lampard.
Yeah, it's exactly what it did, Martin. Another good strike from Lampard, who's getting closer and closer. Little surprise that Paul Scholes allowed him to come into his right side. I think United are trying to change it all around. I don't know what we're looking at Giggs and Queiroz, who are pointing to go right side. He's now coming back left. Mourinho doesn't need to do an awful lot except believe in his team right now, because there's so much in the ascendancy. And as long as they're disciplined at the back and the concentration levels are good, they'll continue to, what she said, come forward like this.
They did fail to score for the first time this season in all competitions on Wednesday. And off target again as Lampard adds to his own personal statistics for shots off target.
Well, I thought Drogba might just take this out his foot himself. He's top goal scorer in the country in the Premiership. And as this is played into him, I thought he's just going to drag it forward or just swing the right foot at it. Look at that, as it grows. The pressure on United, that is.
The tide has turned. The scoreline hasn't. Makelele. Robin.
It's wayward. No, I don't think United at the best when Wayne Rooney plays wide left. But I think at the moment, when you're just trying to protect what you have a little, he might just have to.
Oh, Mourinho earlier this season got onto the pitch to play the ball. He stayed the right side of the line this time. But he got the ball back for Rooney first of all. He declined to take the throw, and the message of time wasting, not for the first time in the second half, is imparted to Howard Webb from the Chelsea point of view.
A bigger message went out to Arjen Robben. I tell you, he gave him plenty. That's who he was glaring at across the pitch for that wayward ball.
Carrick. Scholes. Well, Robin's not scored since February, so he needs to pass the ball well. He attacks Carrick here.
Well played. Well played, Michael Carrick. Rio Ferdinand guilty of just dwelling on the ball in a game like this. On the halfway line, it got pinched off him. And his team were in trouble from that moment.
A strong 20 minutes for Chelsea in the second half, and they finally got a corner. Shevchenko has played it against Neville. There goes Ronaldo. And he can go. He can go.
He was on his own.
He's on his bike.
That was almost open the gates there. Well, this is great stuff. You just don't know how this game's going to fall.
It's a fascinating football match. Not so much for what's happening on the ball, but what's happening off it, isn't it? The way individual battles are going on. We saw Carrick tracking Robben just now, the 216s. And denying a Dutch substitute. Scholes having a look towards Robben's area this time.
You look at what's left for Jose Mourinho, who can win him the game. Joe Cole, the obvious one. And I have to say, we must be getting close to Shevchenko time, because really the Ukrainian top man has not looked like he's been topped.
There was a moment there when Howard Webb gave the throw to Manchester United. It clearly flicked off Rooney. And fortunately for the piece of the afternoon, the assistant, Glenn Turner, gave the throw the right way. Carvalho.
Yeah, sorry.
Zaha. Free kick conceded by Terry.
Well, 3/4 of the way through, and I don't think we're any nearer knowing who's going to win this game.
It was delivered with a bit of a red cross on it by Ryan Giggs. Makalele. Essien. Now Ballack. Comes back for Essien. And Chelsea have another corner. Shevchenko that time making a bit of an impression on the ball into the box. Lampard's corner. Carvalho! Ricardo Carvalho came in with a thumping header, and Chelsea, the set-piece specialists, have equalised from a corner.
Well, you can't say it's not been coming. The pressure's been mounting and mounting and mounting. And they'd be looking at Drogba. Yes, they'd be looking at Terry. They'd be the first worry. But underestimate Carvalho at your peril. And it's Enza, who's probably in the team ahead of Evra, to be contesting this sort of thing. He just allows him fractionally in ahead of him. And it's a thumping header. Zaha does his best. But can only help it on its way into the net.
Well, Ricardo Carvalho, as Edwin van der Sar has some aftermath from that as well. Ricardo Carvalho has never been on the losing side against Manchester United. That's with Porto, of course, and with Chelsea. He scored in that 3-0 win at Stamford Bridge over United back in April, and he's come up trumps here at an absolutely crucial time.
Joe Cole is going to come on in a minute. Looking down below me, Martin, it'll be interesting to see. But watch this as he comes in. He just gets fractioned up earlier than Enza. Nothing in it. The power of the header. Could Zaha have done better? Don't know. That might have been too critical.
"20 minutes to go. 1-1. Enza annoyed with himself.
So where's your money now, folks?
Manchester United's first half and the 25 minutes of the second half have certainly gone to Chelsea. As you said, Andy, it was coming. Cole. Essien. One between the league leaders. and the champions. Oh, and it's a slip by Terry. There's a shot from Scholes. He deflects on Zaha and deflects away from the target.
Well, I can only think that the angle it was going, it wasn't going in from Scholes, but that's half a chance. And although Terry fell, how quickly he was up, and that shot probably going to cross goal rather than at it.
Well, Jose Mourinho saying today this game is for the players, but can't help feeling that he'll have something to say afterwards that will be remembered until the clubs meet again. Rooney's throw. Manchester United are trying to put up the barricade somewhat. How do they play it from now on in? Which of the big two want the win the more? Scholes. Nicely done by Rooney, but the ball back to him by Zaha wasn't quite tailored. But Ainse put in a couple of telling crosses. Wants Giggs to do it here. Followed away by Carvalho. Drogba. 3 up for Chelsea and others joining them. Oh, it's on the wrong radar, the two strikers there. It's a missed opportunity really for Chelsea.
Well, you asked what did Chelsea do? You know, I think Jose Mourinho wanted his team to keep going, keep playing the way they've been. Don't take a step back. United have to try and answer, and they have. Suddenly there's an urgency about Manchester United now.
Ronaldo pumped into Cole.
More in hope than expectation. Don't even think he shook the hand. That's
certainly what Ashley would have you believe.
Well, it did.
Ferdinand's header. Makelele. Space behind the midfield and for the defender, Shevchenko cropping up. Drogba trying to tee up Lampard. Rooney again working from the left-hand side. And he's got Essien to cope with. That's one way of trying to cope with him.
Well, he's done a job and a half for him, Essien, on this right-hand side, second half. Well, Shevchenko thought it might be. He looks disappointed. Hasn't happened for him again in a big game. He's worked hard enough, it's just not been there today.
The feeling with Chelsea and Shevchenko is that he came in at the start of the season not fully fit. Didn't really take part fully in the pre-season training programme, and he's been playing catch-up fitness-wise ever since. He has scored 5 goals, but hasn't really been a dominant force today. Lampard. Robin. Lampard. What was your stat again, Andy, about Manchester United and losing leads?
Yeah. Well, as you say, the only team in the last 140-odd domestic games that have been able to come back from conceding the first goal at Manchester United have been Chelsea.
And it was here.
And they're growing. Look at that. The attempts, that is. Need to hit the target a couple more times.
It's a very big 15 minutes ahead in the context of the Premiership season. Cole. His battle with Cristiano Ronaldo has been as engrossing as anything really in the game. Diggs finding a change of pace again. Carrick, Scholes. Expensive attempt by Paul Scholes. Appreciated the intention.
I think the one thing Sir Alex Ferguson doesn't enjoy today is the luxury of the changes that his counterparts had to make. He's had Robin and Joe Cole to bring off two real top quality attacking footballers, and Sir Alex has, well, not got that, quite simply, on his bench.
Well, let's not forget he's been written off a few times in the last couple of years, Alex Ferguson. But the old bruiser. That's another go at the title. And whatever happens in this last 13 minutes or so, because Manchester United is certainly doing that. Karen Fletcher got the winner in this fixture last season. Might be needed to bring some midfield protection to save what Manchester United have at the moment. Just to reiterate what we said at the start, they haven't got another striker to bring on to try and tilt the balance their way with some fresh legs. The days of Sheringham and Solskjaer have gone. Joe Cole, Drogba. Oh, and Van der Sar thought he was going to get to that, and I think the defenders rather left it to him. And Drogba kept on chasing.
Valencia gets close to conceding something here. You watch this. Leans into Drogba. He really was taking a chance there. That's different from holding your ground. That is. They got away with it. Drogba again stayed in his feet.
Well, we should point that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Terry, Makalele. Robin, a little bit of hesitation by Ferdinand. Wasn't sure if he could get it, and he was probably right just to back off. And the cross could have troubled Manchester United.
It's got to be better than that, though. Really.
Joe Cole stole it away. Clemente. Reflection on the cross. Might have just taken it towards Drogba's head. Essien, advantage played. It was a foul by Rooney. Lampard.
Just a little bit too much curl on the ball. Stuck under his feet a little, and he had to just try and clip it rather than drive it.
That's the Manchester United fans who are maybe looking more anxious, maybe thinking, well, the point will do, it will still keep the 3-point margin. Chelsea, incidentally, had to win by 4 clear goals to knock Manchester United off the top. Scholes. Here's Ferdinand. Chelsea anxious to shape up well defensively. It's funny how goals change the psychology for the teams that score. It doesn't always lead to more attacking play. A lovely ball from Ferdinand to Ronaldo. It's a brilliant turn. And the outcome is a corner. It might have been more than that for Manchester United.
Well, I think Lampard's given Robin a right rollicking, and so he should, because he absolutely goes to sleep and allows Ronaldo to drift in behind him. And Ashley Cole gets himself back in.
Well, they just scored from a corner, Chelsea. They need to defend Manchester United's best efforts. Cudicini absolutely taken out by Vidic, who has a look round to see what damage he might have caused, but no more. Didn't show any sympathy.
Well, there's a ball in there. It's in the air. Chelsea obviously anxious. What went on with Cudicini at Reading and the clattering he took late on there, but you see Vidic there, totally committed to go in after this ball. Don't think his eyes ever leave it. think the goalkeeper's all right. You can understand Chelsea's anxiety at times.
Absolutely.
Around the goalkeepers.
Well, it was Ibrahima Sonko who laid out Carlo Cudicini at Reading after the incident. He ended Petr Cech's football for a good few months still. Ronaldo. Last one. Ball was played. Assistant saw it that way.
And he skips past Frank Lampard, but Ashley Cole's another reason.
What do you think the psychology of the managers are?
Now?
Yeah, now.
I don't think they have much to do with it. I think they're hoping the players can win the game for them. That are out there now.
And not lose again.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Ronaldo. Away from Makelele. Confronts Ashley Cole again. Robin does get back this time. Free kick to Chelsea.
Well, gives a free kick for just pulling them back there. Probably was a free kick. But more importantly for Manchester United, I'm looking at Louis Saha, who's clutching the left hamstring. And that little incident in the halfway line with Makelele and John Terry, they came away from it and immediately was reaching for the hamstring region. And certainly when you look at United's striking options.
Solskjaer out with a hamstring.
Yeah.
Ronaldo. Ashley Cole. Okay. Certainly going to get a telling off here. He might be getting a yellow card.
Well, the card's out.
He's waiting for Ashley Cole to get close to him, Howard Webb.
Oh, it's a foul. I talked about Saha clutching the left hamstring. He must have tweaked that, but it looks okay. Now, Ronaldo signalling, no more.
Ashley Cole was in the Arsenal team that clinched the Premiership title here in 2002. He's also been fined for his parts in some shenanigans between the two clubs in matches at Old Trafford, and a match at Old Trafford. Well, O'Shea and Fletcher. Certainly Ronaldo's off for Darren Fletcher.
Yeah, it is Louis Saha. Well, it will be Louis Saha now. He's gone off now. I think they saw that as well, and there's absolutely no point in Manchester United risking, in the last 5 minutes of this game, the main spearhead damaging something that might just take, 4 to 5 days to heal.
Oh, it could make the difference of several weeks.
Yeah.
John O'Shea was thrown on in the closing moments at Celtic as well. So 4 minutes plus added time. Cudicini punches and punches well. Scholes retrieves well. Manchester United reposition in the middle. Giggs, but it's the goalkeeper's ball. No need to punch it that time. Carvalho.
left ankle looks to be the problem. He just caught under Ashley Cole.
Essien. Lampard. Robin. Trying to link up with Cole. Still Robin. Out of harm's way by Ferdinand. So nicely taken by Makelele, encouraged by his goal at Tottenham a few weeks back.
Well, one this season is a surprise, two would have been ridiculous.
One every 3 seasons, I think. I think they'd be satisfied with a share of the spoils after seeing their side trailing at half-time. Rooney got up very well. Giggs, Scholes is in the box. Fletcher coming as well. Far side. Ball wasn't deep enough for that.
Well, we know Zaha either, no real target in there to aim for.
Scholes can certainly push on in support of Rooney. Shea holding in midfield alongside Carrick. Fletcher on the right, Giggs on the left. Drogba. Gone out of Essien.
Now, how the linesman doesn't see that is beyond me. I understand Howard Webb not seen it. He's in field.
Word in the shell-like of Michael Essien. Joe Cole. There's a cross, and that all came from the throw that Chelsea shouldn't have had. I say the players have behaved responsibly. Maybe a dangerous thing to point out with a minute to go, but there's a lot of eyes around the globe focused on the best of England's Premiership.
Well, if I turn everything they've got today, both these teams, because they've been asked to play at a tempo you don't often see. It is unique to this league, I believe. A match played at this pace for the whole 90 minutes. It's a compliment to the players, the preparation.
And although it's looking as though it is going to finish as a draw, it hasn't been played to finish as a draw. 3 added minutes. Essien. Thought he was away with possession then, but it's a free kick for Chelsea. Could there be a decisive moment in added time? Chelsea not going long from the free kick. I've got Robin chipping away at Gary Neville, but he hasn't had a lot of change out of the Manchester United captain. Both teams have tried to use the width. Certainly Chelsea have since Robin came on.
It'll be interesting after it. I'll be very surprised to find anyone who thinks that either team's done enough to win the game. United definitely the best first half and got the lead. Chelsea have responded fantastically well in the second half. Got an equaliser. And even Jose Mourinho, I think, would have to concede that this team just haven't done enough to win the game.
They certainly have done enough in this second half to have pegged back
Oh yes,
Manchester United in the match, but in terms of the gap at the top, it's still going to remain the same unless it's a dramatic conclusion to a dramatic afternoon. Makelele. Drogba. Set up at the end by John O'Shea. And Drogba still hasn't broken his personal duck against Manchester United in terms of goals. He's been rather reined in by that first half booking. And Jose Mourinho is making a late tactical switch, bringing on Paulo Ferreira for Michael Ballack. He might have been affected by that cut down the calf that you saw him get in Bremen in midweek. He hasn't been a dominant figure for Chelsea.
He just used up what remains on the clock. Very close now to time up. And it shows you how happy they are with Esse, and even if there was time, Ferrara goes into right midfield, Esse stays at right back.
Drogba. United's throw. Well, there's something in it for both sides, but still 3 points between the top two. Neither could grab the special prize of the 3 on offer here. Manchester United thought they'd had it, but Ricardo Carvalho headed in emphatically after a superb first half goal from Louis Saha. The two giants both used to winning, draw, and the challengers and still league leaders won, the champions won.
Well, that was a proper football match, and that was the third option on the afternoon, a point apiece. Elsewhere today, Newcastle beat Portsmouth by a 0-0. Spurs beating Wigan 3-1, coming back from a goal down. So the table looks like this in the drop zone: Charlton, Watford and Sheffield United. Newcastle following their first win in 10 with a little daylight now between themselves and Sheffield United. The Blackburn, who don't play this weekend, falling into 16th. The Hammers on the back of their slender win yesterday, rising to 15th. Manchester City down, Borough up into 13, Fulham and Wigan both falling this weekend. Top half looks like this: Spurs up into 10th, Liverpool back into 9th, Everton falling into 8th. Reading, having lost 4 in a row, have now won 3 in a row and they're up into 7th. Gunners falling this weekend, no change for Villa. Pompey and Bolton changing places, and as you were at the top, Chelsea and Manchester United, and 3 points still, the gap. There is Spanish football now.